You're watching BNS's Stock Game right here on ET now. This is day 2, which we're playing with 3 of our experts, Deepak, Rajat and Gaurang. I'm Devi.
Morning everyone, I'm Avan Navas, and of course this is the only game show that we have on a business channel, and we're going to be playing it out with our 3 experts today. Let's run you through the rules of the game. We give a notional amount of 5 lakh rupees to our 3 experts. They join in from Monday till Friday. Friday is when we will declare the winner. They have to turn compulsory 2 stocks every day. Only 1 stock can be chosen from the F&O space. And if any targets or stop losses are achieved, then those stocks must be replaced by new ones. In addition to that, if they have a sell call in the cash market, they must change it by the end of the trading session and replace it with a new one. Currently, we've got Deepak Mahoney, who is in the lead, but we have seen how the tables can turn midweek, and we could possibly have a new winner by Friday. Let's start off by introducing them. So we've got Gaurang Shah, who is joining in, Rajat Bose, as well as Deepak Mahoney. Morning, gentlemen. Pleasure to have you with us this morning, but we'll start off with Devina running you through their portfolios for yesterday.
Oh yes, yesterday was an interesting day's performance. Let's quickly run you through how each of their individual portfolios performed. So we had Gaurang's portfolio, which will come up first on your screen. He had an IGL, ITC, which he went long on. He had a sell call on Osaka Goa, target getting hit there, so making good money. He had an ICICI Bank is what he went long on. Coming to Rajat Bose and his portfolio, he got a target hit on an Idea Cellular, which he bought. He bought, and the entire portfolio was a long-only portfolio. Other stocks that he had was an ICICI Bank, a Bharti Airtel, and an Axis Bank, obviously. So there's a lot of overlapping in terms of portfolio selection, in terms of stock selection for our experts. Deepak Mohani's portfolio also had a few common stocks like an Axis Bank Futures. United Phosphorus is what he had. He liked the Bata, and even an Idea Cellular was one of the common stocks for my experts. But today is a whole new day. We've got targets hit yesterday. Today as well, a lot of targets getting hit. I think Deepak is pretty much sorted for the day. But we'll quickly run you through their individual stock picks as well. Let's start off first with you, Gaurang. You've retained your IGL.
Quite so, and the numbers that we saw was much better than what the street was expecting. And I think, as I discussed yesterday, this is one stock which has seen sustained buying coming in, even on bad days when the markets have kind of gone into a tailspin. Not much of downside in IGL, and I guess even from an investment point of view, this is one sector, gas, that is distribution and pipeline, looks quite attractive. Even stocks like IGL, GSPL, Petronet LNG and Gujarat Gas, I think one should definitely keep them on the radar. So given the fact that the numbers were good, I was expecting a follow-up buying coming in, but the markets have really not done what one was expecting. In fact, I think the stock is, last time that I saw, was in the green. Don't know what's the status right now.
Oh yes, it's still in the green by about 2.6%. Gaurang, but if you could also run us through the other stocks in the portfolio, the changes you've made.
Yeah, I've gone short on Nifty. I've gone long on Nifty, short on VIP Industries, and I've also bought Wockhardt. I think my stop loss on Nifty long has already got triggered off. I was watching VIP Industries, where I've gone short with a target about 810. I don't know whether it was achieved, but I guess the Nifty stop loss is triggered, and Wockhardt was holding out the last time that I saw.
Yes, it has. In fact, VIP Industries, you do have the target price, Gaurang, which has been hit on that one. We'll discuss the rationale a bit later. But Rajat, let's discuss your portfolio for day 2. ICICI Bank, your favorite from the banking arena, is the stock that you've chosen to retain for today.
Yeah, I did. I mean, the point is that the choice was whether I would retain Bharti or I would retain the Axis Bank Future or ICICI Bank, out of which I had an exposure of only 150 shares for ICICI Bank. So I could, it is a kind of a philosophical resignation that longs would actually suffer, and because of the restrictions, I would not be able to get rid of any of the, all of the longs. But ICICI Bank would harm me the least. That's why I have chosen to keep it. Otherwise, ideally, had there been more flexibility, which I would definitely appeal for, that we should have the benefit of choosing either minimum 2 to maximum 4 stocks, because in such situations, when you know that the stock is going to be a loser, you still have to retain it. In this case, ICICI Bank is that kind of a candidate for me.
All right, so retaining an ICICI Bank is the first stock in Rajat's portfolio. Let's go across to Deepak now to find out what his new portfolio looks like. Yesterday, he had 3 target prices which got hit. He had to change and come up with an entirely new portfolio. Deepak, run us through your new portfolio today.
So there are 3 short sales and there is one buy. Educom Futures was the futures contract which was short sold. And Reliance Capital and Patel Engineering were the other 2 short sales. The buy was in Future Capital. And as had happened yesterday, I think yesterday at the same time yesterday, 3 of those 4 positions had hit targets. Or today, all 4 have either hit the target or have been stopped out. So I don't have to face Rajat's dilemma of whether which stock to carry forward into tomorrow.
All right. So yes, the entire portfolio is pretty much closed out for the day. But, just to run you through the calculator plate once again before we take on individual stocks. So pull up their individual calculator plates at this point in time. This is how Gaurang Shah and his portfolio stands as on day 2. So all of them are making good money. It's only a matter of the quantum of money they're making. So Gaurang Shah's portfolio making about 1.5%. So that's about 7,000 rupees. Coming then next to Rajat Bose's portfolio. He's losing out on 2 stocks today but making good money on the other 2. Overall portfolio gains coming in at about 3.5% after yesterday's performance. That's about 18,000 rupees. And finally, Deepak, that's pretty much his picture at this point as well as at the end of the day. So 3 have got, the target has been hit and 1 has got stopped out. So the overall gain at this point is about 5.2%, 26,000 rupees, and that stands unchanged till the end.
Alright, those are their portfolios for day 1. You can see smart gains coming in for all of our experts as Devina pointed out. But individual stocks to be discussed. Gaurang, you ran us through the rationale for an Indraprastha Gas in fact. But you do have some of its peers also such as a GAIL and a PetNet which don't look too bad. But would IGL trump as the favorite among these 3?
Given the fact the numbers that IGL came out with yesterday, Avan, I guess there is an upper hand over here, and this is one stock which is consistently, like I mentioned earlier, witnessing buying interest coming in, and even if the stock has to correct, it's not really seen much of downside, and you see buying coming in at lower levels. I expect the stock to actually outperform from a medium to long-term point of view. And as an alternative fuel, I think gas is going to be one particular fuel which is going to be consumed in a very large volume. So I'm quite optimistic that an investment idea will definitely not defeat the purpose of getting best return out of it.
All right. So IGL a better pick there. You've got it up by about 2% right now for Gaurang. On to the first stock in Rajat Bose's portfolio. Like Rajat pointed out, he's retained in ICICI Bank, but Rajat, looking at your yesterday's portfolio, you had Idea Cellular where the target got hit. So you had an option to select from the other 3 which one to retain. So why did you particularly retain an ICICI Bank vis-a-vis maybe a Bharti or an Axis Bank which you already had in your portfolio?
I mean, if you look at the kind of quantum of stocks that I had for ICICI Bank and Bharti and Axis. I mean, Bharti I had 315 shares and Axis I had 250 shares because it was one lot. So ICICI I had the least number of shares there, 150. So I felt that probably I would suffer the least in this case, and that's why I retained it. Otherwise, given a free choice, which of course is limited in real life by God and in this game by the channel, I would say that I had to carry on with ICICI Bank, otherwise I wouldn't have kept a single long.
Okay, so that's an ICICI Bank which Rajat has retained from yesterday. A target price at 1,078, stopped at 1,024. Educom Futures, Deepak, that's the first stock that you've chosen to go short on, and the target price has been hit. Been on quite a downward trajectory for quite some time, below its 50 as well as its 200 daily moving average. What's the view in terms of the downside pressure continuing?
Well, it's not let up yet really, has it? I mean, it's now about half the price it was at in October. So this is in a pretty persistent downtrend, and it's very rare that it rallies while the market is going down. And with the market expected to go down today, which it did, this is one of the first stocks that really comes up to mind for short selling. It usually turns out to be pretty safe.
All right, that's the call on an Educom there. Going short today with a target of 323.2 and a stop loss of 330.55, and the target getting hit there for Deepak. So we closed that out for him. On to the second stock in each of their portfolios. A Wockhardt is one stock that you should pull up on your screens, and that's the buy call coming in from Gaurang. Gaurang, what is the call and what's the rationale behind choosing a walk hard today?
Well, again, not really following the defensive theme over here, but I guess the news-based driven moves that Walcott has been giving picked up Walcott purely with that kind of an intention. I think in yesterday's trading session, even when your Sensex and Nifty were well above in the morning part, corrected a little bit and then gave up half the gains that they had witnessed in the morning part. This was one stock which really continued to move with substantial amount of buying interest. Bought Walcott with the same philosophy and with a target about 490 and a stop of about 455. I think even this is one particular stock which is continuously in an upward trajectory and witnessing a new 52-week high. So I think the strength is what you should go by in case if you want to go long in this kind of a market.
All right. That's the word coming in on Walcott, which is up in today's session. But let's talk about Sesa Goa. Rajat, in tandem with all of the negative news that's been backing this counter, it ended lower by 2.5% yesterday. It's continuing that downward fall. You have put a sell call on it, but if we were to look for the long term, do you think you'd be a buyer at these levels?
I would say that 267 to about 263 is the support area for Sesa Goa. If this support range is broken, then this can actually slide down to something like 247. So I was basically targeting for that and kept a target of 259 and a stop loss of 274. And let's see if it makes some money for me. I mean, that is what my expectation is. And generally in this market, whichever is going in a downtrend is carrying on with that. So with that technical perspective in mind, I had a short position in Sesa Goa.
All right. Remember, Sesa Goa yesterday also was down, and that was Gaurang's short call, and he got his target hit on that one. Remember, it was primarily down due to the mining ban in the Bellary district. It mainly a sentimental impact there because Sesa Goa's mines are particularly not in the Bellary district in Karnataka. Sesa Goa is down about 7% in the last 7 days. On to the next stock that Deepak has picked up. Once again, a sell call. The Reliance Capital is what he sold. The stock's down about 2% in the session. Target getting hit there, and once again, it keeps moving lower and further away from its monthly high of 612.
This is actually not, though I mean curiously this also lost half its value between October and February like Educom. It has actually not been too bad from February. So it was about 400 in February, it's 550 now. Not too many stocks are so far above their Feb lows. So I wouldn't write this off in the long term quite yet. I wouldn't say it's a buy, but it's not in such a persistent downtrend for the last 3-4 months as Educom was. But the reason it's been picked is it's closed pretty much at the low of the day. The last 4-5 days the stock has entered a relatively sharper decline, and this is a high beta stock. So it's really, one should say, the beta play and the fact that it's in a downtrend. So for a very, very short-term trade which this game has, it seems pretty suitable.
Suitable for a short-term trade. The stock down by about 2% in the session. The target price has been achieved for Deepak Mohoni at a level of 540. Run you through the scorecard to see where our experts stand at this point in time. Let's pull up Gaurang Shah's portfolio. He is seeing a bit of pain on the Nifty futures on which he's gone long on. Stuck out on that one. VIP Industries, the target price has been achieved. 1.5% is what he's making. 6,900 going into his kitty. Rajat Bose is up next, and it is pretty much neck to neck with him as well as Gaurang. ICICI Bank and Alcom is what he's leading on. His target price has been hit on the same. You do have a 3.5% gain, close to 4%. 19,000 is what he stands to make. So way ahead. And finally on to Deepak Mohoni, who continues to march ahead. He's got 3 target prices hit and only future capital on which his stop loss has been triggered. 5% from day one is what he's making. 26,000 rupees is what Deepak Mohoni is gaining at this point in time. We'll take a quick break then on that note, but we'll be discussing the other stocks after this.
Other stocks as well as stocks and equity queries that you have will be discussed here on Buy Now, Sell Now. So all you have to do is send us your individual queries and email them to us at bnsn@easynow.tv. You can also send us an SMS to 58888. Call us, be live with us in the show by dialing into 022-2483-7111. DNS in the stock game right here on ET Now. We've got to discuss pick number 3 and 4 of our experts. So let's not waste any more time. Let's start off first with Gaurang. The third pick is obviously a buy call on the Nifty futures right now. While Gaurang, we've seen the sentimental boost come about yesterday, on the back of the fact that there would not be a US default considering that the debt ceiling was raised. The sentiment was positive across the board for all global regions as well. But today somehow the markets have tapered off a bit.
Actually, there was a little bit of nervousness. We saw the Nifty open up with a sizable amount of gain, and by the time we closed the trade yesterday, we had lost almost 40% of those up moves that we saw yesterday. So there was a little bit of nervousness. Yes, the concern on the US debt restructuring was there, and now it is done and away with. But I really don't think that the problems are over as yet. And of course, given the fact that even the markets, as far as European markets are concerned, last afternoon was trading quite in a positive zone. But by the time we had the US market opened up, I think there was good amount of correction coming in. Went wrong over there. I think the decision to go long on Nifty was not really something that I would have done. But given the kind of moves that we saw, I was expecting a little bit of sentimental boost coming in and some kind of positive trajectory that the markets would trade in. But I kept a very tight stop loss at about 54.80. And I guess 54.80 if I'm not mistaken, and that's what has got triggered off.
Alright, so that stop loss has been triggered at a level of 54.85. That sentimental boost didn't come in. It's the weak global cues which are dragging our markets down this morning. Let's talk about a Federal Bank August futures. Yesterday, Rajat, we had the results coming out. Moderate results, 11% increase in the net profits. What are the charts indicating for this one?
See, this is in a downtrend, and it has broken key support levels earlier, and with this kind of a market sentiment, yesterday the sentiment was a bit better, and its futures closed much above the day's low. But looking at the kind of movement that bank stocks are showing, I feel that this is in a downtrend, and this downtrend is likely to continue. That's why I kept a short position, and 408 that I've kept as a target is a technical target, and I kept a tight stop loss. I think the stop loss has been at 424.50. If it were to take money from me, then I would not lose much. On the other hand, if it really tanks on the downside, then I would make good money. That was the basic idea behind it. This is the key stock in today's portfolio for me.
Alright, a key stock because the quantity is also on the higher side. Rajat making money at this point, 2 rupees short of his target of 408 on a Federal Bank. Deepak, come to you. Patel Engineering is the other stock that you've chosen. Again, a sell call. You've got a target of 131.5. What are the charts telling you, and how did you choose this one as a short sell?
This stock is now pretty close to a 1-year low, so in fact a 2-year low. So this is, it's not really cracked that yet, but it is in a clear downtrend. That particular low is only a short distance down at 131 rupees. So a pretty persistent downtrend for the last 1 month. And again, this is a high beta, nice volatile stock. So if you're looking to trade short term, you want to have something which is moving quickly because you'll be out of the stock fairly soon. And Patel pretty much falls in that category.
Alright, that's the word coming in on Patel Engineering. The final and last stock in their portfolios, let's discuss them. You've got a VIP Industries then, Gaurang, trading at a level of about 815, pretty soft in today's session. But this is clearly an analyst favorite. Based on the fundamental news, why have you picked out this one?
Well, actually, it was more of a short-term intraday call on VIP Industries because there was a lot of headwind on this particular counter close to about 850, 860 levels. And, considering that you had a good amount of supply coming in at those levels and the stock correcting, I picked up this from purely that point of view because the headroom looked quite limited given the fact that you've seen a good move coming into VIP Industries over the last 2.5, 3 weeks. And the fact that, of course, on the fundamentals, there is nothing going wrong. They are introducing newer range of luggage at the lower end and, of course, the middle end. From a long-term point of view, one can definitely hold on to it. But purely from an intraday or a short term, I think there is a lot of headwinds close to about 850 and 900 levels. So that was primarily the reason why I chose to VIP Industries as a short term.
All right, VIP industry is down 1.7% today. Last 1 month, down about closer to 2.5%. Gaurang has got a sell call on it, and the target has been hit for him out there. On to Rajat Bose and his last call for the day in his portfolio, Reliance Communications, a buy call coming in there. Target getting hit on that one. We've got the stock, however, which has moved down lower post that. Rajat, Reliance Communications, your call on this one?
See, during the recent past, we have seen that telecom stocks have been actually showing a lot of momentum. And Reliance Communication, after a big move 5-6 days back, this was sort of consolidating. And so I had a feeling that this market is pretty choppy, and if the market were to show some recovery, this could move up. And then on the upside, I have kept a very reasonable target. But then I kept a very tight stop loss, considering the fact that if at all something bad were to happen, that I should be through with the stock, losing not much money, and that's what has happened. I think it has already hit my stop loss, so I'm already out of it.
Oh, yes, it was a stop loss and not the target. The target was at 107, stop loss at 101. So considering the market price right now, which is down about 4%, the stop loss on the Reliance Communication has been hit for Rajat. On to the last and the final stocks then. Deepak, in your portfolio, once again, stop loss getting hit there. Future Capital, you've got a buy call on this one.
This is the only buy really for the day. The reason for it is, though I expected the trend to be down, the market can spring surprises. So I did keep one long position, and particularly picked the stock which is on a tearaway run. The stock is up some 70% since the middle of June. So if the market were to go up, chances were the stock would do very well. So that's why it's been picked. If the market went down as it did, the stock would get hit, inflicting hopefully a small loss, which also it has done. So I'm out of that stock. This was, you might say, a bit of a hedge against the 3 short positions.
All right. Just to get an opinion there from our experts, these are the stocks. We'll obviously take you to the calculator place once more. But individual stocks, if you could just pull them up on your screen to see the price movement on an ABB. Remember getting an order worth $1 billion from Sinead. That's pushed it up higher by about 4.5% in an intraday trade. Should pull that stock up. They pulled off, but still higher by 3.5%. And the JSW Steel, over the last 2 trading sessions, a lot of concerns brewing about, and the stock has been beaten down quite badly. First, there was the Lokayukta report. Then there was the mining ban to the Bellary district, so the stock has cooled off quite significantly. Today, also down about 1%. Deepak, I'll come to you first on an ABD, if you happen to see that one, and then post that, we'll take a call on JSW Steel.
Today's move in ABB brings it all that much closer to breakout past 9 under 10, 915. Those are the levels at which it has reversed a couple of times in the last 3-4 months. So that would be a very promising breakout, takes it pretty much to a 6-7 month high, and would make it perhaps the most promising stock in that segment should this breakout take place. And I think it's pretty much headed for it. A 4% rally on a day like this is fairly promising.
Very promising on an ABB. JSW Steel, however, Rajat, come to you.
See, JSW Steel, I would say that this has been falling for the last 3 trading sessions. And yesterday, at least on my technical studies, it came to test significant support that was around, say, 680. I think it closed above that. 694 was the closing, and today once again it is falling. But 680 to about 671 should be a good support for the stock. Looking at the stock, actually, I would say that I felt bad in the sense that it was a very good short yesterday, and it would have made real good money for any of us, but we missed it. I mean, following the same logic that me and Deepak are using, that if a stock is in a downtrend in the current market, at least you get a 3-day run. And yesterday was that day, but it was a miss. But today it is no longer a short unless it falls below 681 to about 671 support area.
Okay, so a missed opportunity, but nonetheless, the support level for JSW Steel at a level of 680 to 671. With that, let's thank all of our experts for being with us, Gaurang, Rajat, as well as Deepak. Great to have you on DNS and the stock here. Rajat, of course, will be staying back to answer individual queries that you have sent in. We'll slip into a quick break, but not before we pull up the calculator place just one last time to give you a last indication on the show as to what kind of money the experts are making. Profits coming in across the board. So Gaurang Shah is making money on 3 of his investments, IGL, Walkhan and VIP Industries, 1.5% close to 6,000 rupees. Moving on then to Rajat Bose, who is losing out on 2 of his investments. His stop loss has been hit on a Reliance Communications. That's bleeding about 1.5%, but all in all still managing to make a good 21,000 rupees. And finally on to Deepak Mahoni, who has the target price achieved on 3 of those counters. Future Capital seeing a marginal loss, but as we had expected, 26,000 rupees is what Deepak Mahoni is putting into his kitty at this point in time. We'll keep you updated with the stock game every day, but for now we'll be taking individual queries with Rajat Bose on 3 stocks, Suzlon, Idea and DLM.
Oh yes, and if you have any individual queries, please feel free to send it to us. We'll be here to help you out. So send us an email to bnsn@eating.tv. You can also send us an SMS to 58888 or call us, be live on the show with us by dialing into 0222 483 738.